So Myles Garrett, he says that he wants out of Cleveland. He's, Super Bowl week. He's making his tours around Media Row, going on different radio stations. He's even talking about his fit with the Washington Commanders with Mina Kimes, which, wow, we got to get to the Commanders signing Javon Kinlaw to that much money here in a second, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. He signs a 4-year extension, so 6 years total because he had 2 years left on his deal. $40 million average per year. That's nuts for a non-quarterback. No trade clause involved. You see a lot of the details of the deal. It's right there. I mean, he basically just becomes the most valuable, highest paid, most powerful non-quarterback in the game. And that's what it took to get him to stay, to keep him happy. And even though he said that he wanted out of Cleveland, he wanted to shake things up, he wanted to go to a contender, you know what? At the end of the day, that much money talks, I'm not going to lie. So I get it. I understand it. My thought process now is I think Cam Ward's floor in this draft is number 2 overall. Especially, I don't know, because who else do they bring in now at this point, right? You've got an insane amount of money wrapped up in Deshaun Watson. You have an insane amount of money now wrapped up in Myles Garrett. Now, they could be operating under the belief that they are going to basically get all of that money back from Deshaun Watson, because it was reported that it's like, okay, he re-injured his Achilles, he had a setback, he had to have the second surgery, and then the question becomes, all right, when and how did that happen? Because if it happened at the facility, there's nothing you could do about it. If it happened with him going out on his own and re-injuring himself, well, all of a sudden now a lot of that money becomes available for the Browns to be able to get back. So maybe they're operating as if they can get out of this Deshaun Watson contract sooner or easier than they first thought that was possible, but we don't know the details of that. But to me, if you're dealing with the Deshaun contract and you're signing Myles Garrett to this insane amount of money, the way that you mitigate that while also trying to win football games is you draft a quarterback. And you draft one this year and try to just win with that over the next 4 to 5 years and have that rookie contract flexibility. So until there are other moves made or truths or details about what's going on with the Deshaun Watson situation, to me, the Myles Garrett contract signals that they are going to draft a quarterback. And I think that Cam Ward's floor is now number 2. He either goes number 1 to the Titans or the Giants, maybe trading up to number 1, or he goes number 2 to the Cleveland Browns. I don't think he gets further than that. What do you think?
I still think there might be, and it would still imply that Cam Ward's floor is likely at number 2, but I still think there might be a chance that the Browns trade down and out of that second spot. But it feels like if they do stay there, it's going to be Cam Ward or it's going to be Travis Hunter. I don't think they would double up at edge rusher now and have Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter. I don't think. Maybe they could and just go all out and say, beat our defensive line the same way teams have to beat the Steelers, but that doesn't help your problems on offense. We haven't really heard them connected to any veteran quarterbacks other than maybe Kirk Cousins. It sounds like he's available, and even then, obviously, that's a short-term, probably one-year fix. I'm in between on this because, yes, obviously they need a franchise quarterback. They have to transition from the Deshaun Watson contract and all of that. But regardless of who their quarterback is, they're not going to compete in 2025. They just don't have the team for it. Their offensive line's getting older. They right now have nothing at running back. They have one respectable receiver in Jerry Jeudy, and they need work in the secondary. I mean, behind obviously Myles Garrett's great, and he immediately gives you a top 10 to 12 defensive line by himself, but the secondary was a real problem this past year, too. So there's a lot to fix on this team. Obviously, from a roster perspective, it's great to get to keep Garrett. I mean, the guy's got the highest pass rush grade of any edge defender in PFF history. That helps. He's not just a great player. He's an all-time great player, right? So getting to keep him is obviously a boon to the defense, but they still need to build the back end of it. And I think the biggest mystery right now in the NFL is what the top 3 teams in the draft, Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Giants, what they think of this quarterback class, and especially the top 2, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. I mean, do they like Cam Ward but not Shedeur? Do they like them both? Do they like neither of them? What is the deal here? Because we've heard the Giants especially connected with veteran quarterbacks, and obviously they're picking 3rd. We've heard the Browns connected with Cam Ward. Brian Callahan's been kind of kind of coy about this quarterback class and talking about what he likes in a quarterback without saying anybody's name or mentioning anybody. So it's tough. But I think you're right. I think at this point we feel like the Browns, there's three options. It's Cam Ward, it's Travis Hunter, or they're going to trade out of that pick and let somebody else take Cam or Shedeur, right? Does that sound about right, or did I miss anything there?
Run that back for me. What were all the options?
Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, trade down.
Yeah, I can't. I don't really see a world where they're doing something outside of those three. You're either drafting a quarterback, you're either drafting the special talent in Travis Hunter, or you're trading back. I don't think that Shedeur is on the table for them at number 2. I really don't. It's just coming off of the conversations that I had at the Senior Bowl, conversations that I had at the Super Bowl, conversations that I had at the Combine. I just don't think the league views Shedeur like that. I really don't. I think it's a lot of connections of like, oh, this team needs a quarterback, so let's give them one of the quarterbacks that's in this class. I don't hear a lot of people talk with conviction with Shedeur going that high. So that's sort of the way I feel about the Cleveland Browns as well.